Hi, everybody. This is Dawn Black with Century 21 First Class Homes. And we're doing it again. So if you're out there, let me know. I am actually here now, and this is live. We are live.
We're together. We found each other.
So so again, I was going to start this from the beginning again. We actually started this. I put out a question on my Dawn Block Realtor business page, and that was probably about a week ago. And it was basically to ask anybody out there, my Facebook friends and people who have joined my business page at Dawn Block Realtor, what do you want me to talk about? You know, is there anything, any topics, any people that you want me to bring in to talk about maybe what their business is all about, or give insight on what, you know, on their business, and maybe give insight on certain subjects or topics that might be might be interested. So I waited, and I got probably about 3 or 4 ideas. And Robert Logsdon, I don't know if he's out there, but he was asking, what can we do? He wanted something to talk about preparing your home for sale. So I thought, what better person to bring in but Teresa? And Teresa, and she has her own business. This is her business. She is a stager. She does a phenomenal job. She works with a number of realtors, with their clients. She works with me. We work together. And I would like to introduce to you Teresa Colby-Dokubo from Teresa'a Touch Interiors. She is my stager and other realtor stagers, but I really am very happy that you're able to join us right now in person.
Yes,
too.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
This was nice.
And what we're going to do is I just want Teresa to introduce herself and to also tell us a little bit about what you do, how you do it, and what areas you service.
Okay. Well, as Dawn said, my name is Teresa from Teresa's Touch Interiors. That is Teresa without an H. So if you want to find my website, it's Teresa's Touch Interiors, but without the H in Teresa. I've had my business for, I came up with the concept about 7 years ago, actively staging for 6 years. Dawn is one of my best clients, and I love staging with her. She does a great job. So primarily my business is in the northwest suburbs, west suburbs, and sometimes even the far west suburbs. So I kind of go all over. I guess I've been doing this actively 6-7 years. I say I've been doing it my whole life because I used to do it for free for everybody, and then I decided to make it a business. So so that's kind of a little bit about me.
Okay. All right. And what areas do you service?
Basically, primarily it's the northwest suburbs. I do go north suburbs, west suburbs, far west suburbs. I have done some stuff in Chicago. I will go to the city as long as it's not downtown, like in the West Loop and those areas, because it's kind of crazy for me, and just the travel time. Okay. It ends up costing the realtor or a homeowner a lot of money because you have to pay for my travel time to go that far. Oh, okay. So I serve primarily the suburbs of Chicago.
So this is all good information, and what I wanted to talk about with Teresa is staging is such that there's two things. There is staging your home. And then there is preparing your home to put it on the market. And the first thing is about staging. And I went and I pulled up a survey from the National Association of Realtors, and it was the impacts of a buyer viewing a staged home. Now this was a survey that went out to realtors, and it was really quite interesting. They said 77% of buyers agents said that staging a home made it easier for a buyer to visualize the property as their future home. So I thought that was a pretty big, it's a pretty big percent. That's a really big impact on what staging can do. Okay. They also said that buyers were more willing to walk through a home that they saw online. So basically, what is that telling you? That's telling you a staged home, like if they saw it online and they liked it online, then they were more willing to go and take a look at it. So that's how big of an impact I think that even online, and if the pictures are good and it's priced well and you've got good pictures and you've got staging, I mean, I think that just pulls everything in together. But 40% is a pretty good number on that. And then they said too that this buyer's agents identified that staging would positively impact the home value if the home was decorated to the buyer's taste, and that was 38% of the agents had said that. So I thought that was pretty interesting with that also. But I always say, like, there's two things. Everybody thinks staging is staging is everything preparing, but there are things that you as a seller, and we're gonna talk about this, that really are common sense things. And it's basically when people say, but the question that actually was put on there was, what do I need to do to prepare my home to put on the market for sale? Well, there are things that you can do even before staging, because I think preparing your home and staging are two different things.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's just touch on and give you guys all an insight about preparing your home. So what would you, the first thing, I mean, you don't think about it, but my thing is if for preparing your home, sellers should really clean. They need to clean, and they don't think about not that they don't think about this, but cleaning your appliances.
Yes.
People, you don't realize that people go and buyers will go and open up the appliances.
Open the oven.
But is there any other things that you can bring up that maybe help some of the people out there that will say, even before we get the stager out there,
right.
What things do you feel?
Well,
help?
I feel, my philosophy, even with preparing a home and putting it on the market, is that you have one chance to make a first impression.
Right.
And anybody, no matter what price point you're at, neighborhood, who's ever looking to move in your neighborhood in that price point, when your house comes on the market, they're coming in the first week.
Yeah.
So you have one chance to make that first impression. So before I would even come in and bring staging items, we need to look at paint color. We need to look at flooring. We need, as Dawn was saying, even the cleanliness of a home. I always tell my clients, the whole house has to be really clean, but bathrooms and kitchens, I always say, need to be bleach clean.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you have to use
agree.
bleach. I might use bleach, but I don't want, people to have an allergic reaction. But buyers can instantly tell if a house has been taken care of. And just by having it super clean,
right?
It makes.
And I think too that sets the tone a lot for when a buyer walks in that house. That when they see a clean home, they know that owner has taken a very very good care of that house, and that they don't have to worry about disrepair or anything like that. Which I think the next thing that I would say, preparing your home, is like you want to see, like if you're opening up your closet doors and the one closet is falling on you, I think you need to repair that and fix it.
Yeah.
If a doorknob, just small
little
repairs.
things make a big impact.
Yeah.
Just little thing. Another thing I tell my clients, and Dawn has heard me say this 100 times at least, when we walk in a house, when they come into your home, they're going to open cabinets.
Yes.
They're going to open closets.
Yes.
They're going to open the appliances. My rule of thumb is make sure nothing falls on them when they open a cabinet or closet door. I know it sounds ridiculous and you're like, oh, really? But it's the truth.
I'm as human as anybody else. If you were to go to my house and you open up my Tupperware,
something's coming out, right?
Everything's falling on top of you. So I know that now, I'll leave it a mess. But if I was to sell my house, I know I better empty that out or stack up those Tupperware.
Put them in a box and put them in the garage.
Yeah. I always say that too. Since you're getting your home on the market, so why don't you just start picking up some stuff, box up things, stack it nicely in the garage? Because what do I always say? I say less is best. So, and two, I know, and my mom's watching right now, and I'm like, I know that my mom would have to clear off her kitchen countertops with appliances. So I always say minimize what you have on your kitchen counters too.
Yeah, because we want to show off that space. Buyers are buying space. So,
Yes.
and,
Yeah.
and that
How true.
right, lead us into other things, preparing your home.
I would say too that that is good. It is about space, but then too, which we're always talking about the inside of a house,
Oh.
where I think curb appeal.
Oh, that's huge.
Is
Well, yeah, and going back to saying when your house comes on the market, people are going to look at your address. They're going to do a drive-by your house.
Yes.
The
yeah.
curb appeal, they're going to drive by your house before a realtor ever takes them to the house.
I agree.
And if you don't have good curb appeal, they're going to be like, no, we don't need to see it. So you got to have good curb. You got to have, mulch down, edging down, shrubs trimmed.
Right.
Does the house need to be painted?
I even think too, when you go into an entranceway, if you've got cobwebs all around, you need to power wash that and make it presentable. You may not sometimes see it because you're living in the house.
Yeah.
You sometimes don't see it. I mean, everybody's got busy lives.
Right.
You're just like in and out, but people, when it comes to showing your house to a buyer, they are probably the most judgmental people when they're looking through. They look at everything, things that you may not even think. So I think what it is that if something is dirty, it needs to be cleaned. If something is broken, it needs to be fixed. So that if somebody's going to be looking or using it, that it's all in operating condition.
Right.
So I also go as far as too, you may also want to, if you're going to check your mechanicals, make sure that your furnace and air have been serviced.
Yes.
It's always good to have a receipt, of that.
Yep.
And just items like that. But I think a big thing, like Teresa said, would be like painting. If you've got chipping paint or peeling paint, you may want to do that touch up.
Right. Or if you have taste specific colors.
Right.
Like we probably all do on our homes. And Dawn has heard me say this on her times too. I like to recommend to buyers to get their house ready to paint your house in a color that appeals to today's buyers, which I'm sure, or I'm not sure, but you've probably all heard all the different grays and all that. But we have some really nice grays that Dawn and I like to recommend to paint your walls.
Right.
Those colors.
Yes.
And they're not like,
I was going to say too that, and I think we've talked about it before when we've done a staging, we've mentioned a color, and two, because I'll be the first one to say also that if you were to come to my house, I have different colors in every room. I mean, every room is a different color. I might have an accent wall, and I live in my home, so I guess you don't look at it so much as preparing it for a buyer.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
But when it's a buyer, you don't want them to focus on the walls. You want them to focus on the house. And some colors can be bright, and I don't know if
they're not as appealing. I think some certain colors, and I think what Dawn is saying too, like if it's in your budget, if you can do that, even if you paint the entire interior of the house the same color, it makes your house appear huge.
Oh, yeah.
And it flows room to room. The same thing with having similar type floors. Not saying that you have carpet in one room and hardwood or in another. That's fine. But sometimes I get my clients that have one type of carpet in one bedroom, another type here. They got laminate flooring here in the foyer, but then they got wood or whatever, wood in this other room, and then they have ceramic in the kitchen, and all of a sudden you have like 5-6 different flooring types, and it makes a house choppy. So I would recommend like you get all one type of carpet, in the rooms that have carpet, in one, if you can, one type, and
then two, so walls one color, and you can keep it easy by also with painting and two. And it's not to say that you have to do it, but if you've got some toned down colors in different rooms but bright colors in others, you might want to tone those down. But I always say white ceilings, white trim, and then go with the neutral walls.
And I'm so glad you brought up white trim. That is the biggest pushback that I get. I do, especially with people that have wood colored trim. They're like, that's good wood.
I know.
We don't want to paint it white. But I can tell you, if it's 99 or 100% of buyers want white trim. And I know it's good wood, but
yes.
it needs to be painted white good wood.
and two, you can sometimes you can get away with a wood trim, but it has to be a specific type of
yes
wood.
Yeah, a little bit darker. It could, possibly be. What we're trying to stay away from is the wood from the 80s, from that honey oak, or even
like
the
if
early
you have the oak cabinets or
honey oak cabinets. Going into that, preparing your house for sale,
yes.
a lot of times if you have those types of cabinets, I highly recommend you paint those.
Now, and two, what I was just going to get into, what is nice and what I will post on my business page is that Teresa puts together, and I don't know if you can see it, she's got a list of contractors, because I know preparing your home can be there's a lot. It is. It's really overwhelming. And what's nice is that Teresa has put together some painters and wallpaper removers.
Yes, that's another.
Cabinet painters. House cleaning. She's even done, on the other side, I know that my mom's listening. She had Apex Window Works come out and take care of her windows. And from what I understand, she was very pleased with their service. So that would definitely, it's all from Teresa's list. So if you are, if you're wanting it, I can definitely post this on my business page, and that's Dawn Block Realtor on Facebook, so that you can come take a look at it, use it.
And what I can say about this list is that everybody on this list I have either used personally or my clients have, and I've seen the work, and they came back with good reviews of the people. So we have like two sides, front and back. So Dawn can post that.
I will.
And you
will
feel free to call
that.
Anybody on there, and from my experience, they've always done a good job.
So that's what I think what we can sum up preparing your home for sale is just regular maintenance things that you need to do, Now, staging your home is, I think, something so there's definitely a difference. I want to say, because everyone says preparing, I think there are two different things, and staging a home is more or less something that we're gonna talk about a little bit further.
Yeah.
But I just kind of want to share this. There was another survey that was taken from the National Association of Realtors, and it was by agents, and it was interesting, because a lot of people say, well, what does staging consist of? What is staging? But what rooms are they? What rooms do you feel make a big impact on staging? And this survey was put out, and it says staging the living room for buyers was found to be most important by 55%. So, and the only reason I can see that a living room would be is because when you walk in that front door, that is probably the first room you see when you walk in the house.
Yep, exactly.
So I thought that was really interesting. They said the second room, which I would probably and I guess I can understand, is the master bedroom. The 51% of realtors felt that the master bedroom was an important room that you need to stage. And Teresa, I know what you say when we're in a house and we're like in the master bedroom. Go ahead, let us know. Yeah,
I'm like, this room has to feel romantic.
Yes.
It has to be a sanctuary. For that woman that's going to be the decision maker, whether they're buying that house or not. At least that's my philosophy. I'm not a realtor, I'm just a stager, but what I find about 99% of the times, if a woman doesn't like a house, they're not buying it.
Right.
So, and usually even if it's not your wife or a girlfriend, it's a mom, an aunt, a sister, it's some female, and they have to like
nothing against the men.
Nothing. No, I can tell you what men like. They want to see, do we have a big enough wall for my big TV? How is the furnace? How are the windows? When were they replaced? Where's my man cave? How's the garage?
Yes.
That's what men. Women want to see pretty and
They
nice,
want,
and their
they want a
family
place,
there.
Yes, they want a quiet place to go to get away from
shut
it all.
that door.
I want
Right.
to get away from
Right,
it all.
right.
And so I would say, with the master bedroom, you also want to, if you have a master bathroom, and I think that
goes
is, if that's
hand in hand.
attached, if that's attached to that master bedroom, we better be making that room look. I mean that
like a spa.
Thank you.
The bathroom is
It
a
needs
spa.
to look like a spa.
Yep.
Because I think the minute you walk in and you see like the candles, I mean, you don't even have to have a whirlpool tub.
No,
Just having the candles and accentuating some
and nice
different colors.
show towels.
Yes. And you got to stack them a certain way too.
Stack them and roll them, and
And these are all of these are some things. These are things that Teresa does. I mean, she will go in and you will look at the master bedroom and give color ideas and try to bounce off the colors that you have.
Right.
I mean, I know we said painting walls and colors are very important, but Teresa will work if it's you will be pretty honest with the color.
Absolutely.
If it needs to be toned down, we are going to mention it.
Right.
But if it's a color that Teresa can work with, we will try to find
a neutral
accessories to match that
and we will
bring it together.
I have a ton of stuff that
I was going to say Teresa has a house full of items, and it's her little department store. I mean, I feel like it's a
Home Goods or Ross, whatever you'd like to say.
It is. And I think that's something that those 3 rooms are tops. But I found also in this survey that was done, those 3 rooms were top, and then it went to like curb appeal, your yard, your outside space, and I thought that was quite interesting because I would think that maybe the dining room would be a little bit more above the yard, and it wasn't. It actually. I mean, they're very close. I mean, we're talking 30% said the yard above the dining room. So, and the dining room was 29%. So that's pretty close. But we go back to, but even with staging, there's a lot more entailed to that. And I think, Teresa, we had mentioned that a lot of staging has to do with placement of furniture.
Yes.
Placement of furniture.
Yes. What I find most times is that homeowners have too much furniture in their house for selling. And I would be guilty of that. I'm sure you are too right now.
Yes,
we have a
yes.
comfortable.
Oh, gosh.
I have a sectional. I have a chair and a chase all in my family room. But if I was selling my house, I'm moving probably the chair and the chase out. I'll just have my sectional.
Yes.
Because, again, I'm going back to buyers are buying the space. And you don't want to have too much in those space because you want buyers to kind of picture their stuff there too.
But too, I was going to say, there has to be a flow because when you walk in the door and if you don't have access, and I remember Teresa and I were at a staging in Elk Grove, and we want a pathway. You want a pathway from the entranceway to the dining room and living room.
Right.
You don't need furniture blocking you in every path.
Right.
So I think that's to add that flow, and there are certain ways that you can position the furniture so you have
so
that
we have
flow.
that path.
The worst thing is they have a buyer walk through the house and be bumping into, or like you had mentioned in the morning when we were talking, you said that you're going to have a husband, a wife, you're going to have the agent there, and you possibly might even have some kids.
Right.
You got to have kids.
Yeah.
So, and not all the time, you have to have them. But you just want to make sure there's going to be a lot of people starting out in the doorway. So you just want to make sure that there's enough room, space for people to flow through.
Right.
So let's say you got your living room set.
Yeah.
What can we do? I mean, I would think the dining room is a room that obviously.
I think the dining room is an important room too. Most, not all houses, but most times if you do have a dining room, it's typically near the front or maybe straight through the back, but you do see it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like next to the kitchen.
Yeah, it's never like a hidden room like maybe an office would be. So I think, I like to set the dining room table, as Dawn knows, nothing fancy, but again, I'm appealing to that woman. that woman has to feel that, oh my gosh, I can't wait for my family and friends to come here, and oh my gosh, we're gonna have a dinner party or Thanksgiving dinner,
Christmas dinner,
right? So I actually think it's important. But with that being said, too, in the dining room, another thing for furniture placement. This kind of ties into that.
Yes.
A lot of people have a dining room table. I was at a house today. They had 8 chairs around this dining room table and like 2 leaves in it. And I was like, we need to take the leaves out of this table. And they're like, yeah, but Teresa, doesn't this show that 8 people can dine here?
Yes.
And I'm just like, yes, but we want it to feel that the room is big. So let's take the leaves out. Let's only have 4 chairs. Because visually, it looks bigger.
And I think it looks nicer too in the pictures.
It's less cluttered.
Yes,
when
definitely.
you get a lot of different chairs and things.
And to furniture, you have recommended that you'll have the table there, but if there's a lot of pieces of furniture on the wall, we may be taking some out.
And it may just be the dining room table and chairs in there.
Yeah, but then we do set it and simple. It's nothing. No. No silver. All it is a
wine glass, dinner plate,
one dinner plate, a wine glass in the middle, and a napkin in the glass, and the color, the items that you would need if you don't have them. Teresa
I have bins.
Them. So
bins of all anything you would need.
So and I think so I think what we're trying to say is it's about into staging. Like Teresa will pick out colors, like she always has a swatch, different color palette.
Yep.
So that if let's say there's one room that's or one wall that stands out that. We can maybe try to, and the other walls are neutral. Maybe we could try to match it up.
Yeah,
because it's not that we're saying that you have to paint the whole house.
Right.
It's good if you have the funds to do that because it's a clean slate.
Right.
But if it's something where it's like, well, you know what, I feel that the living room, the dining room, the kitchen master bedroom have to have the neutral colors in the house.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, bedrooms, bedrooms are where kids are.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to make
That's not as important.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can make them neutral, great. But again, no one's not going to buy your house because of that.
True,
but,
So I think, so I would say a lot of it would, that is, a lot of staging has to do with, oh, this is nice. Oh, thanks, Andre. So a lot of things would have to do, when you're staging, it's a lot about, what would you say? Furniture placement?
Furniture placement. I tend to stage, this is how I stage. I like pops of color. I like, I'm a minimalist.
Yes.
So let's say even in a room, there would be one, like in here, one piece of artwork, some pillows on the couch. I'm talking the living room or family room right now. Very minimal. Because again, I want buyers to see the space and not get so caught up in like, oh my gosh, they have so many things on the bookshelf, and oh my gosh, they have this, and the bookshelf.
Yes.
If you have bookshelves, if you cannot remove them, we have to make them pretty, and that means like one item
on every shelf.
Or a couple.
You can stack books.
Yes,
but in a kind of like a decorative design
way, right?
Route.
So if you know you're going to be listing and you have bookshelves full of books and stuff, I'm going to recommend you take at least half, if not 2/3, of those out.
Oh, definitely.
And then we would say you always want to see the back of the bookshelf. That's my tip, right?
Or the back of the book. The back of the book.
But the bookshelf even. You want to be able to see. You don't want it,
And like doing those, and again, these might be tedious items, but again, you know what? If you're planning on moving, then this is a great way to just pack up, start boxing up things, and store the boxes in the garage.
Exactly.
That's always That's always good.
And the one big tip I can get rid of all the personal pictures.
That's what I was. I was trying to think of.
I know why we didn't say that first, because that's usually the first thing I say.
It is a biggie because what that does is when the buyers go through, they're looking at, Oh, look at the little babies.
Baby, yeah.
Look at the baby pictures.
Do I know her?
Yes.
Is
yes.
that Susie?
And then they're not looking at the house.
No.
They're not looking at the house. They're looking at all the pretty pictures on the wall, and they're being distracted from actually seeing the room. And if they're not even imagining themselves in the house. No. They're just
this is
thinking,
Susie's house.
Yes,
This is who's
like,
ever.
oh,
this
good,
is their
I
house.
knew them, and they totally forgot about the house.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of that is the minimizing of things in a home is also to let buyers see what the home looks like as it is. I mean, and not only to visualize their things in there. So that's why we go with the neutral colors.
Neutral colors, right? Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. Does anybody have any questions out there? I mean, I don't see anything popping up right now. Two people are on, but I can't think of anything else. I was just wondering if anybody. Oh, wait a second. My mom popped in there with a text. But I just wanted. Hey Jen, how you doing? Jennifer Payne is on. She's she did you staged their home in Hanover Park. And
I was going to say I know that name.
Yes,
I know the name.
Yes. So,
hello.
Hi. I just wanted to, if you have missed it. I will be posting this recording on Dawn Block Realtor, my Facebook page. I don't know. Is there anything else that you think we've missed that really would? I'm hoping that would help you out.
I feel like we kind of covered pretty much everything. Yeah. I would just suggest when you are prepping your house for sale, think neutral.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm sitting in this room, which we have, it may be Shaker beige walls.
I think so.
So even if you guys have beige walls out there, that's fine too.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be gray. I mean, but when you get taste specific colors, and like Dawn would know, Dawn hears me say this every time. In my house, I have very taste-specific colors.
Yes,
I have a black wall.
It looks
in
great.
my kitchen.
It really does look good. But if you were to
if I'm selling, I'm painting that a neutral.
Definitely.
I have bright gold. I have colors that may not.
And I was going to say too, I know that we really didn't touch on it a lot, but if it's a home that has wallpaper on.
How did I forget that?
I know, I can't believe.
That's the biggie.
Yeah, I just thought of that now. If there is wallpaper, and too, there is on this list of contractors, we do have a person that takes care of wallpaper removal.
And borders.
Yeah,
that's wallpaper.
It's big, yes, it all comes off. Because it just, all those things, I think that they make the home look a little dated, and it just pulls them away from.
Well, what they're thinking is that, oh my gosh, this is a huge job. It's going to cost a lot of money. And actually, it doesn't cost a lot of money.
It's the work.
It's the work. And if you get it done professionally, I mean, trust me, I helped a friend once pull wallpaper down, and then she brought a painter in to paint, and he was like, next time, just have me take it down, because we ended up doing more damage to walls than and it was more expense because he had to fix the walls, and they just know how to do it. And I'll tell you what, people will be like, when I say take the wallpaper down, I'm like, yeah, but my friend Jane said she loves my wallpaper, and that's okay, but no one wants to live with your wallpaper.
Right.
They may think, hey, that looks pretty cool, or that looks nice, but they don't want to live with it.
And two, it's you picked that wallpaper because it was for you, and it's it kind of was your taste at the time. But really, I think, and it may be really pretty, but when somebody walks through, first off, they see wallpaper, and they're like, because that's not really in. I think it's more your neutral colors, your solid colors. I mean, in a kid's room, okay, you could probably get by with those stickums, decals,
that's fine.
But in like a bathroom. I think it would be it'd be probably a better investment is to remove that wallpaper and just do one solid color. When I mean one solid color, I don't mean red.
No.
I don't mean
Cubs blue.
Orange or Cubs. Cubs blue.
I've had that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it.
But I would probably go with more of a
neutral, a lighter neutral. a lighter gray, a
But
lighter tan.
that is something, because I've been in places where the wallpaper, and I know back in the day wallpaper was everywhere, but when they see it down the hall on all the walls of the living room,
they're already going to walk out of it. They've
Right.
already know they're not buying this house.
Because and they may really like the house, but they just kind of freak out about it. They can't get past
Right.
the removal of that, because they're already knowing or thinking that once I remove that wallpaper, I'm going to have to fix the drywall,
Yes.
and that's going to be an added cost. And to have it done for them, I think adds more value to the home.
Well, right. And Dawn, this is how I feel. If I'm buying a house, I'm at closing.
Right.
Dawn, you hand me the keys to my new house. I have a truck ready with my stuff to move in. Most people don't want to have to go now and take
say,
down
okay,
wallpaper.
I can't move into my house
for a
because now I
month
gotta
because
take
now
care
I
of
got to
it.
do this or
Right.
this or a week, So it's just best. Again, you have one chance to make a first impression.
And that's it. If everybody out there, if you're thinking about selling your home, and the first thing is you got to look at it as you have one chance to make a first good impression for that buyer when they walk into your house. And anything you do, and even if and I don't want to make it sound like I'm making you redo your house,
right.
but anything that you do to better your home will bring value to that buyer when they go through your house.
Exactly.
And I think that's kind of what we're trying to
Right.
say here. Staging is a big part, and I appreciate everything that you do, Teresa. I really do, because you do an awesome job
thank
at
you.
it. You really do.
Thank you.
And you make it a lot of fun.
It is fun.
So,
We do have fun doing that.
We do have
right?
fun when we go out staging. So I would highly recommend this lady right here if you're thinking about selling, and if you do decide to sell your home, give me a call, because I feel that it's so important to have a stager come through, and Teresa will do a consultation, and I feel that consultation is so important, because we'll put together a list of items that we feel that you need to take care of. And that is your list to kind of go by. Now, granted, it may have some maintenance items, cleaning items, decluttering items, which we just got done saying that's preparing your home for sale. We will mention that, but then we'll go into the staging aspect of it, and that would be placement of furniture and other things like that. So,
right.
And so if you do decide to put your house up on the market and we do get a chance to talk, I would be happy to pay for that consultation fee for you. So, Jen, what do you say? My thick-head husband didn't want to take Dawn and Teresa's suggestion. Oh, but he's a nice guy, so we like him. But we're very happy. So that's great. And thank you, Jen, for putting that comment out there. Marge, thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the thumbs up. And what I will be doing, if you do have any questions, don't hesitate to put them in the comments. Teresa, what is a good contact number that if somebody wanted to get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'm going to give you, it's my work and cell number. So you can call or text me, 847-917-1028. So again, 847-917-1028.
Now, is it okay? We're all on Facebook. If do you have a business
Yes,
page?
Teresa's Touch Interiors, and if you Google even Teresa's Touch Interiors, it will come to Facebook. It is actually under you could Google Teresa Colby-Dokubo. I know that's a mouthful. I can spell my last name for you. So it's Teresa without an H. So Teresa. The last name is hyphenated. The first part is Colby, like Colby cheese. COLB as in boy, Y, a hyphen. And then Dokubo, which is D as in David, O, K, U, B as in boy, O. I know there's a lot of vowels. And I won't be surprised if you mix those up, because everybody does. But Teresa's Touch Interiors, if you even Google that, it should take you right to my website and Facebook page and things like that.
And then so you can call, texting, okay?
Texting's
Text,
great.
or go to Facebook and private message.
Private.
Also, you'll be able to view this on I'm going to post it and share it to my business page at Dawn Black Realtor. So, and that is also where I'm going to have the list of the contractors so that you can go to and you can get. I want to thank everybody for coming in and listening to to this broadcast, to this Facebook Live, and also to. Please, if you can think of any other, I'm glad that Teresa, this is my first one for 2018. I'm hoping that I can have some more guests. So if anybody who is out there, and Jen, I think your idea was to get a home inspector. So I'm thinking that maybe that might be my next Facebook Live. You never know. So any request, please don't forget to either you can private message me, you can text me. You can go to my business page and just send me a message. I'll be sure to get it, and then I can respond back to you. So I guess what we're going to do is I think we've been on here long enough, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in, even if you were passing through and you were just kind of listening to it on the fly. Thank you very much. Teresa, what does Jen say? John wants septic system topics. Okay, John. Well, you never know. I might get that company on there for you. But thank you guys for everybody for visiting and for coming to this broadcast and listening to this Facebook Live. Teresa, thank you again.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
And I'm sure
thanks
we'll do
everybody
it again.
for listening.
Thank you again. Everybody have a great Labor Day weekend. Go to Dawn Black Realtor to see this for further information if you want to review this Facebook Live again.
Perfect.
Everybody have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.